Hello dear students, welcome back to the NCERT Science class of 10th standard. Dear students, in the previous class we have completed the topic of life process, in which we have studied the different life process and we have understood the meaning of life process by studying this topic, in which we have studied the different life process like the nutrition. In nutrition we have studied the nutrition in plants, and also we have studied the nutrition in animals, especially in human being. That we have studied the digestion in human being. We have studied the procedure of digestion. Then after this one we have studied the respiration, the mechanism of respiration, the structure of respiratory system. We have studied. After this one we have studied the transportation of material. In case of plant we have studied that is going on by the xylem and phloem, and next the transportation in human being is going on by the blood with the help of a pumping organ that is called as the heart. Next, after this one we have studied the excretion. The process of removal of unwanted waste material from the body is called as the excretion. And next we have studied the excretion in plant also. The structure of kidney also we have studied. Now dear students, we are going to study the exercise part of this topic. See, for that you have to open the textbook. All should have to open the textbook. The first question, very first question of this topic, that is first one. See, multiple choice question he has given, 4 multiple choice question he has given. See, first one, the kidney in human being are a part of the system for. Once again I will read it. The kidney in human being are a part of the system for which system? See, nutrition, no; respiration, no; excretion, and next fourth one, transportation. The correct answer is kidney is a part of excretory system. Kidney is a part of human excretory system, which is present on either side of the vertebral column. Next question. Come to the next question. See, second question, number 2. The xylem in plants are responsible for option A, transportation of water; option B, transport of food; option C, transport of amino acids; option D, transport of oxygen. Isn't it? 4 options he has given. The first one is transport of water, transport of food, transport of amino acid; option D, transport of oxygen. The correct answer is transport of water. Xylem transports the water in upward direction. That contains the 4 types of cells, that is xylem vessel and trachea. They helps in the tubular movement, that helps in the movement of water. Yes. Next, come to the question number 3. The autotrophic mode of nutrition requires option A, carbon dioxide and water; option B, chlorophyll; option C, sunlight; option D, all of the above. For the autotrophic mode of nutrition, it needs sunlight, carbon dioxide and chlorophyll. Next, last one, that water. That's why the correct answer is all of the above. The correct answer is all of the above. Next, dear students, question number 4. The breakdown of pyruvate to give carbon dioxide. The breakdown of pyruvate to give carbon dioxide, water and energy takes place in cytoplasm. Option A, cytoplasm; option B, mitochondria; option C, chloroplast; option D, nucleus. The correct answer is mitochondria. That is, in case of cytoplasm, what happens? The 6 carbon molecule breaks to force the 3 carbon molecule. Breakdown of glucose molecule takes place in the cytoplasm, cell cytoplasm. 6 carbon it will reduce to the 3 carbon pyruvate molecule. But the breakdown of pyruvate molecule takes place in the mitochondria. Yes, mitochondria. That is the correct answer is mitochondria. Next, come to the fifth question. See, how are the fats digested in our body? See, dear students, we are consuming the different nutrients, carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, fats and all. Different nutrients we are consuming that is present in the food. Here what happens? What is asking? How are the fats digested in our body? Where does this process takes place? In the mouth, carbohydrate digestion takes place. In the stomach, protein digestion takes place. In the small intestine, fat digestion takes place. The rest of all these carbohydrate, proteins and all, the digestion takes place. Especially fat will not digest in the mouth and next in the stomach. Mainly fat digestion takes place in the small intestine. Fat digestion takes place in the small intestine. Next, dear students, how it is digesting? See, fat is present in the large globules. Fat molecules present in the large globules that has to be break down. Inside the fat, the energy is present. What happens? In the small intestine, two main types of secretions takes place, or two main large glands are attached. The first one is liver, the second one is pancreas. Liver secretes the bile juice which break down the large sized fat globules or the large sized fat molecules into the simple small pieces of fat molecule. Then this fat molecule again it is acted by the secretions of the pancreas, that is called as the trypsin. Trypsin digests the pancreatic juice digests the fat molecule. It means why the bile juice break down the large globule molecules to increase the surface area. A large size fat globule molecule, that will be break down into the simple molecules, and that is acted by the trypsin, which is secreted or the pancreatic enzymes which is secreted from the pancreas, due to which what happens? The digestion of fat takes place in the small intestine. Understood? Once again I will tell you, the digestion of fat takes place in the small intestine. And next, how in the small intestine two large glands are attached. The first one is liver, which secretes the bile juice, which helps in the emulsification of fat molecule, we can say. That is, large size fat molecule break into the simple molecules, that is called as the emulsification of fat molecule. The next, again when the food is going downward, again one more large gland is attached, that is called as the pancreas, which secretes the pancreatic enzymes which acts on the simple fat molecules and digests the fat molecule and releases the energy. Yes? Not the release of energy takes place in the cell, means digestion of fat takes place, and which enables the fat molecule to absorb in the small intestine. Yes? Next question, dear students. What is the role of saliva in the digestion of food? What is the role of saliva? See, we have studied in detail while studying the digestion. In the digestive system, three pairs of salivary glands are attached. The first one is here, see, which is present below the tongue, parotids, lingual and sublingual, we can say parotid, lingual and sublingual glands are present. So three pairs of salivary glands are present, and these three pairs of salivary glands secretes the saliva. The saliva contains an enzyme called as the salivary amylase. In the buccal cavity, three pairs of salivary glands are present. These three pairs of salivary glands contains secretes the saliva. The saliva contains salivary amylase enzyme, which is mainly helpful for the digestion of starch molecule, which is nothing but the carbohydrate molecule. Digestion of carbohydrate takes place in the mouth with the help of salivary amylase, which is present in the saliva. The saliva is secreted from the salivary glands, which is present in the buccal cavity. Yes. Next, dear students, what is the role of saliva in the digestion of food? That is the digestion of carbohydrate molecule. Yes. The next come to the next question. That is, what are the necessary conditions for the autotrophic nutrition? Autotrophic nutrition, what are the necessary conditions and what are its byproducts? See, what are the necessary conditions for the autotrophic? Autotrophic mode of nutrition means the mode of nutrition in which the photosynthesis takes place, which is going on in the green plants with the help of chlorophyll pigments. See, necessary conditions: first one, the sunlight from the sun; then next, carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, water from the ground, and presence of green color pigment chlorophyll. Plant prepares the food molecule. These are the necessary conditions. First one, sunlight from the sun, carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, water from the ground, and the chlorophyll pigment, which is present in the chloroplast. These are the necessary conditions for the photosynthesis. Yes, and the steps. See, we have studied. First one, the absorption of light energy, absorption of sunlight, and conversion of sunlight and light energy into the chemical energy. Next, after this one, the reduction of water molecule, and next, absorption of carbon dioxide. Yes, that we have studied. The first one, conversion of energy, light energy into chemical. Second one, light energy into chemical energy. Reduction of carbon dioxide to the carbohydrates. These are the steps. The first one is absorption of light energy. Second one, conversion of light energy into the chemical energy. The third one is reduction of carbon dioxide to the carbohydrates. These are the main steps which are involved in the photosynthetic process. Next, again, is going to continue that question 3. Question number 7. What are the end products or what are the byproducts? See, what happens, dear students, during the photosynthesis? The end products are, see, carbohydrates, oxygen and energy. Carbohydrates, oxygen and energy, these are the end products. What are the necessary conditions? The necessary conditions: sunlight from the sun, carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, water from the ground, and chlorophyll pigment in the chloroplast. These are the 4 necessary conditions for the photosynthesis. The end products are carbohydrates, oxygen and energy. These are the 3 end products which are produced in the photosynthetic process. Next, dear students, come to the next question. See, question number 8. What are the differences between the aerobic and anaerobic respiration? Name some organisms that use the anaerobic mode of respiration. See, I will tell you. First of all, we have to make the 2 columns. 2 columns. Aerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration. The second one is anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration. The first one is aerobic respiration takes place in presence of oxygen. In presence of, it takes place in presence of second one here, in the absence of oxygen. in the absence of oxygen. Yes. Next answer, that is in case of aerobic respiration, the byproducts like carbon dioxide, water and energy. Here that is ethanol and energy. Ethanol and energy. It is mainly present in or higher animals. It occurs in yeast cell. Yes, these are the difference between the aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Yes. Next, dear students, the next question. See, name the some organisms that use the anaerobic respiration. Yeast. Yes. Next, funguses. Some funguses. Then after this one, how are alveoli designed to maximize the exchange of gases? How are the alveoli designed to maximize the exchange of gases? See, in the lungs, in our lungs, or in the respiratory system consists of the different parts. See, nostrils, nasal cavity, nasopharynx, pharynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, and next alveoli. Alveoli are the sac-like structures which are present in the lungs. In each lung, 300 to 350 millions of alveoli are present in the lungs. In the lungs, when we see the structure of lungs, when we see the structure of lungs, in the lungs what happens? The minute bag-like structures are present. More than 300 millions of alveoli are present in each lung. See what happens? The alveoli is a double-layered membrane. Alveoli is a double-layered membrane. Here what happens, dear students? The structure of alveoli, we have studied the structure of alveoli. In the structure of alveoli, what happens? Whatever we are taking, the oxygen is filled, and in between these alveoli is a double layer and sac-like structure. In the double layer membrane, the blood circulated. While pumping the blood, that contains carbon dioxide rich blood. Carbon dioxide rich blood comes in that. And next, these alveoli are connected to the blood vessels and all. Then what happens? That oxygen rich blood that will be diffuses out, and carbon dioxide will diffuse out, and oxygen will diffuse inside the blood, and that will connect to the blood vessels, and that will go to the heart for the pumping. Alveoli are the sac-like structure, minute sac-like structures in the lungs, and there are more than 300 millions in each lung. That increases the surface area, which increases the mechanism of respiration. Due to these numbers, the mechanism will increase, and that helps in the supply of oxygen, or that helps in the purification of blood by adding the oxygen into the blood and remove the carbon dioxide in the lungs takes place, and whatever the carbon dioxide is separated out, that will be moved through the nostrils, and the oxygen rich blood again goes to the body by pumping the heart, by pumping the blood by the heart. Yes. Next, dear students, what would be the consequences of a deficiency of hemoglobin in our body? See what happens, dear students. The red color pigment is present in our blood. A red color pigment which is present in our blood, that is called as the hemoglobin, which is present in the red blood cells. The main function of red blood cell is, that is the main function of hemoglobin is to carry the oxygen. See what happens if we suffer from, if the hemoglobin cells are, if the hemoglobin is reduced in our body, what happens? The supply of oxygen will be reduced in the body. The supply of oxygen will be reduced in the body. What if the supply of oxygen will reduce? What will happen? See, our body we will suffer by a disease called as the anemia. See, if we not get the enough oxygen to body, if oxygen is supplied very less in a less quantity, what happens? Energy will produce in very less quantity. See, we are getting the food. To break down these food molecules, we need the oxygen. If oxygen is supplied less due to the less number of hemoglobin or less number of blood cells, that what happens? Due to the less supply of oxygen, the energy, efficient of energy will not release. That's why what happens? We will suffer by a disease called as the anemia. It means if hemoglobin reduces, what happens? We will suffer by a disease called as the anemia. Yes. Next, second, 11th question. Describe the double circulation in human being. Why it is necessary? See what happens, dear students. We have studied the double circulation. It is very complicated process that mainly occurs in 4-chambered heart containing animals. 4-chambered heart. In these animals only, the double circulation happens. In the double circulation, what happens? The definition for the double circulation is, during each cycle of circulation of blood, the blood enters twice the heart. During each cycle, the blood enters twice the heart in 2 different compartments or in 2 different chambers, is called as the double circulation. Means blood enter twice the heart during each cycle. See how the carbon dioxide rich blood from the body, that is entered to the heart first, then heart pumps the blood to the lungs for the purification. In the lungs, the blood will get purified. Then that purified blood again it goes to the heart. Then from the heart again the heart pumps the blood or the pure blood to the body. See what happens? From the body it goes to the heart, heart to the lungs to the again heart twice. Second time it is, see, body to the heart first, heart to the lungs again to the heart second time. Then again from the heart to the body. See what happens? In each cycle of circulation, the blood enters twice the heart. That type of circulation is called as the double circulation. Yes. Next, dear students, why it is necessary? See, double circulation is very necessary in 4-chambered heart or the higher animals. In higher vertebrates. See why it is necessary? See what happens? These double circulation is necessary for those animals who are, those animals which are not changes their body temperature with respect to the environment. It is very necessary for the higher animals or homeothermic. which will not change their body temperature with respect to the environment, and in such animals the mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood is not going on. Means separately the circulation of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood is going on. That's why the double circulation is necessary in higher animals to circulate the oxygenated and deoxygenated blood that is produced or that has to circulate. That's why double circulation is necessary, which is going on in two separate compartments. Next, dear students, what are the difference between the transport of material in xylem and phloem? What are the differences between the transport of materials in xylem and phloem? Phloem, xylem and phloem. See, xylem, it conducts water, and nutrients. It conducts food. It conducts food. Next, the movement of water is always upward. Upward movement takes place. Next, here, both in upward and downward direction. Both upward and downward direction. See, transportation of water, doesn't need more energy. It needs more energy. Transportation of food needs more energy, isn't it? These are the difference between the xylem and phloem. The first one is it conducts water, xylem conducts water, phloem conducts the food. Next, xylem, that is it helps in the upward movement of water. Here, in case of phloem, what happens? Both in upward and downward. Both in upward and downward direction of food is going on. See here what happens? Transpiration of water needs more energy, and no, doesn't need more energy. Only with less amount of energy, the transportation of water is going on. But here, the transportation of food, that is, we can say the translocation, it needs more energy to translocate the food molecules. Here, the transportation of water is called as the transportation. Here, the transportation of food is called as the translocation. One more definition you can write it. Yes. Next, the last question. Compare the functions of alveoli. Compare the functions of alveoli in the lungs and nephron in the kidneys with respect to their structure and functions. See, alveoli, we have studied the detailed structure of the alveoli and the nephron. Nephron is having the tubular structure, and one end of the nephron is having the cup shaped structure that is called as the Bowman's structure, in which the blood vessels are connected. But in case of alveoli is also a sac like structure. Nephron is having the cup like structure. See what happens? In case of alveoli, the blood is filled in a sac like structure, but in case of nephron, the blood is moved through a coils of blood vessels. Blood vessels. See, number of blood vessels are present in the nephron, but in case of alveoli, the blood is filled in the sac like structure. And next, what happens? In case of alveoli, that is connected with the blood vessels, that is connected with a gap in which the blood is filled. Then here what happens? The blood vessels are highly coiled in the Bowman's structure, and here what happens? The separation of urine takes place from the blood. Here in case of alveoli, the separation of carbon dioxide takes place and addition of oxygen takes place in the alveoli. These are the differences between the functions of alveoli and the nephron. That's all about the exercise part of this topic. Next we will study in the next class. Thank you.